Are you guys ready to do this? Let's do our stream review. So, if you are brand new to how this works, what I do is I pull up a streamer's channel rather, and we look at everything we can. We look at the channel design and the graphics for the panels, things like that, how the about page is written, all the links to the socials, everything. And then after that, we look at a VOD or a couple VODs if we're able to, and we call out similar things. We look at the graphics, we look at the scene composition, we listen to the quality of the microphone and look at the quality of the webcam, and we essentially we go through everything from production value to chat engagement to everything we can to touch on to help improve your content creation. And there's always something new that we can learn from each other. I'm always learning as well. So and I would say my disclaimer is I've been doing this for a while. My stuff isn't, I wouldn't consider my advice to be the only way to accomplish things, but certainly the way I would see how to stream. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and so my feedback always comes with that disclaimer of that's just how I feel about it. There's certainly my opinions, but there's certainly if you want to do it differently, you can, but I'll just offer my feedback as we go. So let's get it started. Today I'll be looking at RobinKyrie, and let me do a quick shout out so you can look at the page alongside me if you wish. There's also a link on the video, like if you're watching this on in a browser on a computer, you can mouse over this stream right here, and it's actually in that direction. Towards the left side is a list of the streamers, which is myself and RobinKyrie. You can hit follow there so you can take a look, and we will we'll bounce through this. So RobinKyrie is today's review. I always ask the creator to fill out a very short form to give me context on their channel, their community, and what they're hoping to learn and what they'd like me to take a look at. It kind of helps me get kind of attuned to what they're doing, or at least caught up to where their head's at when we start these reviews, so I can kind of adjust my feedback appropriately. So without further ado, I'll go over these questions and Robin's answers, and then we'll see what we can do, what we can learn and teach. So first question is always, how long have you been streaming? Robin's answer is 3 years. So actually, I just want to touch on that. A lot of people that I've been looking at have been around the 3-year mark or more. So that's kind of fantastic. I've had a couple outliers, a few people less than a year, but most people around 3 years. And I think that's something important to note. Regardless of time spent and size, even at 3 years, a lot of people still always want that feedback, right? People want someone to take a look at their content and see what they can improve upon. Twitch streams, or like any kind of streams rather, the creator's constantly growing. So 3 years out, like we had Benefits on here the other day, and I think I want to say that was much longer, 6 or 7 years, something like that. So it's normal. It's normal for that. There are people who will probably be on here who have done just as long, if not longer. Good morning, Arc Fox. Welcome to the stream. Enjoy your lurk. I'll see you soon, man. We'll talk at you later when you're able to talk. So I asked in this forum Or rather, I stated, please describe your channel. What kind of content do you produce? Robin says, variety gaming, playing typically RPG type games, raising awareness on LGBTQIA issues and focusing on creating friendships. That's fantastic. We have a lot of variety streamers come through. We have a lot of kind of I think that's pretty standard, actually, at least from the creators I've looked at in these reviews. Now that I think about it, there's only one or two people that I can think of that focus on the same games or the same grouping of games. Most people that have stopped through here are variety as well. What's your streaming schedule? Why did I say that? Streaming schedule. So Robin says, no set schedule, work causes it to change weekly. And so we addressed this in yesterday's review with Six Eyed Bear, who also has a similar thing going where Six has to change their stream schedule based upon their work schedule. Let's see. What's your streaming? Okay, we already did that. Oop, there we go. What would you like to get out of the review? Ways I can be more engaging. This is another common thing that we like to cover during these stream reviews, which is, you know, how can we continue to be engaging with our viewers? What can we do to make them feel like they're being seen, and how can we outwardly just engage them while we stream? So very good. We'll touch on those points as we look at the VOD. What particular things do you want looked at, or questions do you have? Chat interaction. And if there's anything I can specifically improve on. Okay, great. So we can look at the engagement. We can look at just things we can do differently, or, you know, work on to improve. And then there's no other specific questions that Robin has. So what we'll do is we'll start with the channel design. And what I like to do is we start with channel design. That kind of gives us a sense of what we're looking forward to in terms of the stream, as well as kind of starts us off a little easier. Things that are a little more easier to address, I think, because when we start doing a discussion on engagement and how to, you know, best practices on how to do the active streaming, those are the things that always get a little more complicated. So let's start easy with some of the stuff on the channel. So first thing I notice here, and we'll dive into this in a slightly different order than I usually do, because I think it makes more sense to do it this way, is the project or the profile banner. That's the most noticeable thing whenever you look at these channels. So Jesse Nebulous earlier said, "Ooh, I like the banner art. That tree is lovely." I would agree. The tree is beautiful. I like this self drawing. I was gonna say the art of Robin. And what's really cool here is there's nothing really important blocked in the center, so you can actually look at these great pieces of art. Robin's face. You have this tree. What I would like is, and this is totally something I would say you can't always control because of the width of these things, but perhaps if you were able to get more of the tree over just a little bit, but that's just a small thing that if you can't do that, that's also okay. Like, I totally get that. If you don't want to chop up this image, I wouldn't say you should, but a little more tree on the left is good. For those of you that are unfamiliar with how this works, this profile banner changes based on the size of the window as well as the resolution, and so it's kind of hard to get specific. But if you're trying to achieve a certain look or a certain alignment of how things sit on this banner, try to optimize for a 1080p screen, because that's the most common screen you'd be dealing with and seeing. And so I'd say kudos though, because, like, nothing important is blocked, right? Like, it's nice that your face is to the side. Obviously, it'd be a bummer if the face was blocked by the carousel. One thing to note is the carousel blocks the midsection of this banner on computers, like computer browsers. If you're looking at this on mobile, actually, it's not configured this way. It's just a banner that sits at the very top of the page. So if you do, like, one thing I've been thinking about playing with is just hiding something. This is silly. This has nothing to do with the feedback I would have you do, but I want to hide something behind the banner, or not the banner, behind the carousel. I think it'd be funny. And then if you see it on mobile, you see it on mobile. Otherwise, you don't see it. I almost want to be like, welcome mobile users, which is like really, I'd put it just large enough to see it would sit behind ordinarily where this is, but you can't predict how this would work on other screens. Obviously, if it was a wider screen, it might look different. So great job on the banner. Let's see. So we'll hang out up here. I don't see a trailer. I probably sound like a broken record. Trailers are a neat new feature by Twitch where they show the viewer a 60-second trailer made by you, the streamer or creator, and hopefully you give them a good, like, you give them a good summary of what your channel and community are about. You do you kind of convince them, like, hey, stick around, this is a great channel. Again, 60 seconds if you can. It actually won't let you select anything higher than that in terms of time. But yeah, you'll want to upload a video where you introduce yourself, where you basically say, hi, I'm RobinKyrie. This is what my channel's about. This is what I play. And then I know your schedule is kind of in flux, but you can say something to that end where you say, click follow and turn on notifications to find out when I'm live. And we can talk a bit more about that shortly when it comes to schedule. So there's that's what I would do. Get a trailer. Very helpful stuff. And out of the 13 people who I've reviewed, only 2 people have had a trailer ready when I've done the review. A few more have actually added one since I called it out on their reviews. I don't think it's common enough yet, and I really actually think it's a great enough feature that it should be more common and people should take advantage of it. So that's my thoughts on it. Robin's got a profile picture, which is their face, which is awesome. I like it. Always put like your face here if you don't have a logo. And even if you have a logo, sometimes the face is a better call on an actual profile picture. So it's great. You can see Robin's face. Looks excellent. Let's move on, shall we? Let's take a quick look at the rest of this home section. We see recent broadcasts. We see broadcasts from yesterday, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 8 days ago. This is great. So even though your schedule doesn't allow for regularly scheduled times, you're at least you're at least streaming on a regular basis. So that's really good. Sometimes when I am browsing Twitch channels when they're offline, I always get a little concerned when I haven't seen a stream in like more than a week or two, right? This shows me, especially with people who have varying schedules, I know it's harder to get a stream in when you can because, well, streaming is a commitment, and you're doing a great job here. It looks like you're still streaming regularly despite your schedule, so that's good. Or your lack of your ability to lack a regular schedule. So keep that up. That's really good. You're definitely a variety streamer. I see 6 different games. It's kind of varied too, which is neat because I see The Long Dark, which is a cool survival game, I believe. art, which is great. It's always cool just chatting. Shadowbringers. So we got a Final Fantasy player in here. Shout out to Arc Fox, who's also a Final Fantasy 14 player who's lurking. We got Genshin Impact, which is like super popular right now, and of course, Breath of the Wild, which I think is fair because Genshin Impact seems to have been heavily influenced by Breath of the Wild. So cool stuff. I've been meaning to check that out. I don't know if I should. All right, the one thing that's kind of missing from here, which you see on most channels, and this is completely a personal choice, I'm just gonna point it out because it's something that you could do, is you can feature other streamers on this page. You can do that from your creator dashboard if you like. So if there are other streamers that you really enjoy, people that you think are great creators that you would want to put in front of your audience, you could feature them here. And I want to say like it lets you feature like 7 or 8. And then what it does is if you have a list longer than that, it takes the top ones, I believe, and it shuffles the ones that are live to the top. It'll always prioritize people who are live. So consider that. Not required. So overall, this looks good though. Looking at this tells me that you're active, and that's really what I wanted to know. Anytime I look at a person's page, there is the profile banner looks awesome. Like I said, the art's really nice. I like how it's set out. It looks good. So I clicked about, and what this normally contains is a little about box as well as your panels. And if I do this, I try to nudge this out to see how it affects. This looks good. This will usually default to like a 3-column setup when chat's out too. So like if you were watching this channel while it's live, it will normally default to a 3-panel if you are maximized and on a 1080p screen. Again, it's dependent on your resolution and your screen size. So this display that you guys are seeing it on is a pretty typical 1080p display, which is kind of nice for showing you guys how most screens would see this. It's a pretty standard resolution, as you may know. So let's look at the about section. We've got the about section, and I'll read this out loud. About RobinKyrie. Hi. I'm a variety RPG and story-driven games lover. However, more importantly, I found my sense of self and my identity through streaming on Twitch, and I want to educate others on LGBTQIA issues and allow others to find their own sense of self and find self-confidence. They, them pronouns. Fantastic, Robin. This is great. This is good. I like it. I like this about. I always tell people, you know, what do you want someone to see when they get to your stream? What is a good way of explaining who you are, what you're about, and what you can expect from this channel? This is great. I like it. Let's look at the links. We got these other links. Find my other haunts. Oh, nice. Okay. The art's fantastic. Oh, I see. Cool. And then Discord. It just refocused my Discord as it does when you click on those links. Let me close it. So if I would say what I notice here, because I recall so this is basically I see. more of an about page. This is cool. I like it. This looks like graphic services you offer, which is cool. And then the Discord. So these are all working. This is fantastic. This is good. I was going to say, as long as you, because I know you have social media, I'm glad that you have it in the panels. So as long as they're in the panels too, that's good. That's great. I've doubled up on mine, and I might remove it from my panel section and leave it in my about. But it's kind of nice to see the big banners. So I haven't decided yet. I would say this is great. You can put socials up here if you like, but of course you don't want to fill this up too much. My rule of thumb with anything you link to on anywhere on your channel page is make sure that you're maintaining whatever it is you're linking to, and it seems like you're doing a good job there. So these look up to date. These links that we just shared. Make sure, folks, especially like Discord, sometimes people put their Discord link there in that box, and it's not a permanent invite link, so it expires after a certain amount of time. Just make sure you do, you have a permanent Discord link, because a lot of people end up getting dead links when they click on that sort of thing. So that looks good. Looks like you're using one, which is fantastic. Let's look at the panels. You got a nice welcome. This is the same art as on the profile banner, which I think is fantastic. I like it in the first slot. That's a good place for it. Another About Me panel. I'm going to read it out loud really quickly after I take some water. All right. Hi, I'm RobinKyrie. I'm an LGBTQIA streamer and proud of it, a lover of makeup, and an explorer of worlds. I just love games that have an RPG type focus. I also love talking and meeting new people. I use they, them pronouns, and I identify as a demi-male. I started streaming to just connect with people, and along the way found an identity I resonated with, and the confidence to present myself authentically. I now aim to inspire others to live their authentic, true lives and to break the chains of fear holding them back. We're joined on our adventures of finding fine male specimens with Charlie, who's a rescue dog from Dogs Trust Lowborough. Oh, and yes, I thirst over the males. The more underdressed, the better. I love it. The best thing about Robin here is they know what they want, and I appreciate that. And they know who they are. Current hot list includes Alexios, Shinsekai, and probably more. Maybe ask me about my thirst list. I love it, Robin. This is great. I really like the sincerity here. This is something you really don't see on a lot of streamers' pages, and I have to say, it's awesome. It's awesome that you are unapologetic about who you are, and you're very clear about who you are and what you're about. And I think that that's really great. Honestly, Twitch needs more creators who are not afraid of saying who they are and what they're about. So excellent About Me. My only thing is maybe it's a little long, but I don't know. I think it's fine. Overall, it's good. Great. The schedule panel. Due to a constantly evolving work schedule, my own schedule on Twitch changes weekly. Check Twitter for the most up-to-date view. Keep being cute. So this is good. I like that you call out how to stay on schedule, or rather be informed about when RobinKyrie's live. One thing I would add to this is like saying something along the lines of, make sure notifications are on if you're following, so you know when I'm live. So something along those lines to encourage people to have notifications on, which I think is always important as a streamer. to encourage your community to have those on, because schedules change, things are different. Sometimes you'll stream when you're not normally online. So those notifications are super helpful. It's more so important for people without regular schedules. You want to give viewers every avenue you can to know when you're online. So yeah, something along the lines of, make sure notifications are on, and you'll find out when I'm live. Let's see. So we got Twitter. I'm gonna click this. Great. So that works. We have a subscribe panel. This is really cool. You talk about the perks of what you get with the subscription. Let's see. Thank you so much for considering subscribing to me. You probably want to know what subscriptions do, right? Well, they help me to work towards my goal of being able to go full time. What perks do you get? However, let me fill you in. Okay, great. And then you have a list. So ad-free viewing, good. Custom emotes, custom Discord role, higher chance to win game giveaways, ability to have a light color of your choice you can trigger. That's always cool, really. We're seeing more and more of the light changing effects for viewers. Wooden cutout shapes of your choice, done and designed for you. And one and the dog's trust for every month you subscribe. That's awesome. Really cool. What I would do here is when you click on it, it doesn't go anywhere. You can actually link this to go to your subscribe link. So consider doing that, because then it's even easier. I know the button's right here, right? I know the button's right here, but it's nice to add it to the panel as well. So you have information on dog's trust, which is great, because you were just talking about that in the other panel. I like how you call this tips. Remember this, friends. Tips. It's tips. It's tips. It's not donos. I was in a stream last night. Sometimes I browse Twitch, clicking on recommended streams, and not only did they refer to it as donations, but it was like a part of their overlay, and it says like biggest dono, and it wasn't a charity stream. It was just straight up like, they were referring to their tips. So I like how you call it tips here. That's excellent. Let's see, Instagram works fantastic, looks good. I like to check for links. Dog's trust. Looks good. Discord, I'm gonna double check your Discord again to make sure. Looks good. So all these links work. We got YouTube. Every so often I come across pages where all of their links are dead. So I'm just making sure. I like to make sure. Medium. Got it. Cool. This looks good. What I would say is minor inconsistency. You have an about me section, and you have a header here, but you could totally make that a panel like every other section on your panel section. So you can make one that fits right in line with the rest of this art that says about me. It just brings a nice consistency to it. What I would say though is this is really good. Your layout's great. I always recommend that you put your about me and your schedule in your first couple slots, because it's just the first thing people are going to look at, and always helpful for those to, those viewers to see what they're getting into, right? And then of course I would add a subscribe link to this panel. No, I think that's it. Everything else is good. This is solid page design. I'm gonna click schedule, but I assume there's gonna be no schedule. Nope, no schedule. Good. What's great about this schedule widget though is it does show your previous streams within the last week. So as long as the VOD is still up, so that's really cool. I always like to click those to see. It's also nice because you can compare what they're like. If there's someone who says, here's my schedule, and then you look at their last 7 days, you're like, but they didn't do, like, especially if it's like wildly different than their schedule, then that tells me that they need to adjust the schedule expectations. Let's see, we got the video section. This is recent broadcasts, recent highlights and uploads, popular clips, all videos. So these are the standard things. As a creator on your own page, you can actually reorder these any way you want, these 4 different categories. I highly recommend thinking about that, although recent broadcasts is probably the best thing that you could do at the top. If you have content that you want to group together, you can call that a collection, and it's basically a playlist. You can add those to this screen as well. So if you have like, I see a lot of Twitch sings on here. If you want to put those in a collection, if you think that would be something you want to showcase, you can make a Twitch sings collection and feature it on here. So overall, page looks great. Looks good. Man, I'm a little stuffy this morning. I'm hoping it's just allergies, because kind of feeling like it's a little tough to talk with the sinuses the way they are. Okay. So let's dive in to the VOD. Arc Fox redeemed the Join the Mojo Makers. Thanks, dude. The Mojo Makers is a list of people who have spent 10,000 channel points for the title. I will add you to the list, Arc Fox. I think there's only 5 or 6 people on that list, but now you are one of them. So thank you, buddy. 10,000. Look at that. Actually, that brings me to the one thing I always forget to check. What I would like to check. Oh, good. Offline stream. This is perfect. So offline. This is fantastic. It looks like... Okay, good. Stream schedule varies weekly. Awesome. This is great. Offline screen looks good. Also, let me see here. Channel points are a thing. It looks like you've got some channel points. Always good. We were talking about one of the things you were looking at was how you can improve the engagement. Channel points are always nice because they encourage your viewers to you know, be involved and watch, because they earn channel points while they watch, and then also spend those points on fun things. It looks like you have a lot of the normal things you would expect to see on channel point redemptions. Chat rules. This is perfect. Great. This is a good list of rules. Great. Cool. So you filled those out. Let's see about emotes too. We got some emotes. A rip, a love, a lewd. Awesome. Looks good. Looks good overall. So let's see. Now we can jump in videos.
Well, I've got a few clips lined.
All right. Let me see about what recent broadcasts do we have. This is a Breath of the Wild for 2 hours and Genshin Impact. We've got Final Fantasy and just chatting. Halkin, good morning. Welcome. We're currently looking at RobinKyrie's stream channel. How you doing, man? What's new? Very, very good to see you. We're about to do some VOD diving. This is stream review number 13 with RobinKyrie. We just did the page portion, which RobinKyrie did a fairly good job overall with the banners, the banners, the panels. Everything looked good. I really appreciate that. Looks fantastic. Let's hit play, and what we'll do is we're gonna scrub through the VOD. We're gonna look at some key things like the opening. We're gonna look at the close, and then of course we're gonna scrub through and find examples of how Robin interacts with chat, or just in general talks while doing their thing. So this looks like a normal game stream. We have Breath of the Wild and then some Genshin Impact. So
RobinKyrie here, and you're watching my stream maybe for the first time. Now don't panic, I'm not live yet. But if you want to see what happens when we go live, well, I've got a few clips lined up for you. But otherwise, check back in about 5 minutes.
Good morning,
have
have
fun.
fun.
Face. I'll get to see your face, and I can guarantee you are looking heckin' cute today.
This is great. It's a clip. It's a clip
Come at me,
montage. I'm gonna watch this clip
come at me, bro,
montage.
not send me flying. There's a difference. Someone needs to teach these people manners, and that person is going to be me.
It's good to see you have fun. It's good to see you, Halkin. Welcome, guys. I do appreciate it.
Is there a reason why you're not giving me forewarning that you're about to shoot? That's very rude of you, archers.
I'm fixing. There we go. I was gonna say 720.
Cause I'm gonna kick your shield out of.
Oh, we got some Pokemon up in here. You're totally sold on Robin. You followed them. Great. I like Robin. Robin hangs out in my chat every so often.
Oh, I was liking
Robin's good people.
However, as I'm saying, the big advantage of this is that at least this way, I can. Well, it's going to be a Tornatus that takes the glory. I'm sorry. I feel bad because I wanted to use Dreadnought, but apparently Tornatus, he's killing it. Literally, he's slaying. Or NPC warriors, like, I'm sorry, but they get set on fire and they just keep going. They're durable and then they're durable. That is, I want to know what they're made of because... Oh my gosh, the point where I think... Hang on. Aww. You mean I have to do it the boring way of igniting it manually? That sucks. Boom! I may take too much joy in that. But yeah, there we go. That is one.
By the way, I love
login
Ghost of
count.
Tsushima. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. It's great.
Answer?
Nice.
Yes! Yes! I did it! I did it! Right, okay, well I've got to drop it into that shrine.
Uh-oh.
So I guess you could say we're rather committed to taking the long
There's a weird formatting thing here.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna...
Oh no.
Ouch. Okay, so apparently my issue wasn't the gliding part, it was the stamina part. Not really good at much else, but...
There we go, it's
What?
fixed.
Oops, I got in trouble for harming the flowers.
Got an emote wall, looks like. So this has to be one of the most fun opening streams openings to a stream I've seen in terms of like what we're doing here. And I'll touch on that as soon as it ends, and then we'll pause it and we'll discuss, because there's a lot of cool things happening here. So there's some really cool things happening here. That intro was fantastic. It was essentially Robin saying, "Hey, welcome to my channel. We're going to go live soon, but for now, here's some things to look at so you can get to know me." This is great. A lot of streamers do similar things. The execution here is fantastic. So clip montage is always good. It always gives viewers a couple things. So a lot of you will say that I'm a broken record when it comes to this on the starting screen. So starting screens generally are starting soon, like the words, and then a graphic of some kind, and then music. And that's what I would say 95% of the people on Twitch do who are streaming. What they should do, this is actually a great example of they should do. The reason why I have concerns about these starting soon screens for a lot of people is that they don't do anything to entice new viewers to stay, right? Especially if they show up to a stream and it just says starting soon with no timer and just music playing. So what Robin did here was fantastic. Started off saying, "Welcome, you know, this is this is my channel. I'm going to show you some things that'll help you get to know me." And then it's 5 minutes of clips. So if I showed up anytime between when Robin hit live and when the end of this video occurs, I still get to see something interesting and engaging, especially if I'm brand new, right? This really helps the people who are brand new, because the bounce rate for people who browse to a channel who are unfamiliar with a community, and they see just a starting soon screen, the bounce rate's pretty high. I don't have the specific numbers, but if you think about it, right, if you were to go to a channel that was maybe recommended or linked to you, or you just were browsing and you found it and you clicked it and it said starting soon with no timer, how apt are you to stay? And I'll be honest, for me, I'm not really willing to stay more than 30 seconds. I move on. If it's not an intentional visit, if it's not someone I know, right? And some people have different thresholds when it comes to that. Even if it's someone they know, they may not stick around. So this is great for a couple of reasons. One, there's a timer, so you know exactly when to expect the stream to start. Two is a set of clips that you can watch in that time. So you're also still being able to at least consume something. Again, especially if you're new, you get a better feel for who Robin is. I think this was well done. I appreciate the timer. I like the I like it. This is good.
everyone, I'm confused. There is an ice cream truck. I don't know what it's doing. But how are we all doing today? I'm just using this time to just sort of check that I've got it. See, I knew something wasn't quite right here. There we go, that's better for us all. I mean, we can actually see me. I'm somewhat in focus. Oh, things are a little bit too bright. But I don't want to be totally dark. There we go. We're getting there slowly, okay? There. Now we're sorted. Hopefully. Captions, what is up with you? Thank you. If everything could just work, this is why I sort of have this period where I just drop into this thing first. But I think we're ready to go.
I did not expect that transition. That skull. It doesn't seem to fit everything else. I like it. It's very cool. It doesn't fit with the rest of the motif that you got going. Have Fun says, I will likely be gone or at least open another window and wait a couple minutes for them to show while I check out something else. Yeah. I mean, everyone's thresholds for such a thing are different, right? When you get to a channel and you don't know what to expect and they're just getting started. I will stick around for around 30 seconds, and then if I lose interest, I'll leave. So that's why I say the things that I do when I talk about starting soon screens. So that was good. Robin greeted people and then talked a little bit about settings.
The Action with the Legend of Zelda. But as ever, don't feel free to talk. I'll probably be rambling away as I fail at getting. See, I want to get up to that tower up there. That is our one true goal, okay? And so far, everything I've tried results in me dying, and I'm not a fan of that. I am not about that. Why is there no desktop sound?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't hear the game.
Oh, there it is. Apparently it was just that quiet that... Yeah.
Okay, there it is. So let's discuss really quick a couple things. So Robin just jumped right into gameplay. Certainly something, there's a couple ways to do this when you start a stream. I always encourage people, I know it's a little different if your chat's not really active, and I'm just going to assume, with the lack of chat, Robin wanted to jump into the game and get things rolling, which is totally okay. If you can, and if there's chat or if there's just people to greet, I spend a little longer talking because you had this screen, which I would like to jump to, this chatting screen. I like this chatting screen. I really do.
What it's doing.
I like the chatting screen.
But how we all do.
Your camera takes up a good amount of space. Your camera looks pretty good. You're framed well. You've got the art that you've showcased in your in your profile banner. It looks great. You have a chat log here. This is good. You have the doggo in the corner. The composition of this scene's great. I really like this as a just chatting scene. It's very well designed. So good job on that. What's really cool here is also, I touch on this, for any scene, you have closed captioning, which is fantastic. Closed captioning is great. If you do not have closed captioning on your stream, you should really consider adding it. You should really consider, because I mean, it helps out so many people. I highly recommend it. That's my thought. But you've got it, so that's good.
So far, everything I've tried results in me dying, and
so now that we're on gameplay,
I am not about
Toast J, welcome. Good morning.
Is there no desktop sound? Oh, there it is. Apparently, it was just that quiet that. Yeah.
So this scene's really nice too. It fits in with the visual profile that Robin's already established. It's got this yellow frame. This looks like a fall theme that we got going on. The camera takes up a good amount of space. We got chat above, and we got closed captioning here, and of course the doggo. This is also just another well put together scene.
That's a good sign. My
So
controller
let's look at
is
this for a while and
behaving a
just
little
watch a
bit
little
better. Not a
gameplay
lot
while we're
better.
here.
It's still being a hot mess, but it's trying. Also, apparently these are super useful. Especially if I decide that I want to go up against Naboris earlier.
Burnt Toast, how you
Or
doing,
sooner,
man?
should
Good
I
to
say,
see you.
rather than later. But, yeah, how are we all doing? Please excuse that the stream is actually early and that I have not put my face on today. You get to see this very nice face instead, okay? Basically we are in the middle of a very shitty situation.
You're doing okay.
And I mean that quite literally, the situation is very shitty. Toilet drain, gully, Potter's blocked. Which means that every time we flush...
What's flying across his face? Is it part of the overlay? It looks like it's part of the
shit
overlay.
comes back. And I don't mean inside, I mean literally outside the back door. So
it's hard to
yeah,
tell.
we've got someone coming in, they're coming around 5, and because we have plenty of numpties setting off fireworks, unfortunately
It looks like
me
it's an
mum
effect
can't
of the
be
overlay.
in all the time. So I'm ending my stream a bit earlier, just so that, you know, we can do the right thing. Because that's the most important thing. I'm sure you can agree, it's the most important thing to do right by your pets and do right by getting rid of shit. But what we all been up to? What have we all been doing?
I think they're
I
leaves.
have been hating my
The,
first week
the
back at
autumn
work.
vibes.
I was thinking, do I put a positive spin on it, or do I just focus on the fact that no?
Well, I mean,
it
this is a
sucks.
VOD, so we're just
It
starting.
needs to
We're
go.
starting from the beginning.
Die. Apparently one of my colleagues is very amazed that he didn't injure me further. He accidentally dropped a radiator on me. I mean, not on me, it was on my leg, but still that was kind of not very good. You know? So he was quite amazed that he didn't actually cause me damage. I'm quite glad that he didn't, but yeah, that's sort of where we are at the minute. That's sort of where life.
You know,
is.
I'm actually kind of
that might
okay
be a
with
bit
it.
better.
I don't
I'm
think
sorry,
it's
I'm
too
trying to keep on
distracting.
trying to-
Although I guess if you were to want to make it
I
like
don't
it's
know what
fairly
any of this is
subtle.
useful
I mean,
for.
I know you can still see it.
It's offering me.
I could go either way on it. I don't
And
think
I don't
it's
know
that
about you, but when
distracting.
things are offered like that, I kind of like to take them. You don't get many free handouts, you know.
I kind of wish the particles were a little bigger
so where
and it
I
moved
need
a
to
little
end up
slower,
is I somehow
and
need
it would
to
loop
end up
less often
basically
if
up
I were to
there.
tweak it.
So I need to get up on I want to say Naboris, but I don't think it's Naboris. I could be mistaken though, it could be Naboris and I could be totally wrong and you could be all shouting at me right now. In fact, you know what, you probably are all shouting at me right now, but you're just going to have to shout a bit louder because I can't hear yous.
I don't know. I think it's okay.
But yeah, apparently
There's some
it's the
adjustments
time
you
of
can make
climbing.
though. It would help. That could help it.
Also,
So I'm
I know
listening to
some
the
people are like,
mix
oh my gosh, we might
of
get locked down
this.
soon. I'm like, and I hate to be salty, cynical, and all the rest of it, but lockdown has done nothing for me. We don't. There's no change in my life when we get locked down.
The volume of the game could stand to be a little higher.
That then yay, but for me, not to throw shade at anyone, but for me, it's just same shit, different day.
We got some real talk coming
That's
from
the best
Robin
way I
over
can
here.
put it. It's very much the same shit. What are these? Are these?
The
good?
captions, hey dude,
Well, they
dude
don't eat
Razor,
me.
hello Razor.
Oh, holy heck!
The
How do I kill
captioning is
these?
great, and this is actually something I would say a lot of people don't do yet, and they need to do it more. I use my closed captioning through the actual. It sends it through the actual video player, which is I kind of like it. So you can choose to turn it on and off, and that ability is present in the VOD. I would say that Robin does a good job here, just having something that you can see during the stream, and of course I'm watching it as a VOD, which is really nice. I think I guess I can't stress that enough, right? Closed captioning, super important. Not enough streamers do it. It's a disservice to a lot of our viewers, people who are either unable to hear or they're in a circumstance where they can't have the volume up very high and they want to kind of hang out and watch the video. Closed captioning is great. I've taken great care myself to make sure that, my streams have something. And what's funny, we could also what's great about it is it's funny too when your closed captioning doesn't quite catch or capture your voice uh correctly in terms of how you're enunciating anything. Although it looks like no, wait, nope, yep, it's getting it. It's getting it. My captions are doing well. Okay, cool. So we got gameplay. I would say you could stand to turn up the game a little bit, a little bit. I know that you're looking to do the focus is you as a streamer, but the volume of the game
Ah! Fuck, 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 fuck.
is a little low compared to you.
Well, that would have made an epic screenshot if I'd have been paying attention. Unfortunately, I didn't pay attention.
What I would say too for this layout, and this is a weird personal preference thing. I think we're all apt to put our cameras lower. And if you've been watching these reviews with me, you'll notice that I've been recommending that you swap your camera. In this case, I would swap your camera with your chat. I would put you at the top, the chat below. It kind of helps the eye line to see your face and your reactions. This is I like how this is arranged, and I like the amount of space that you give your face here. But I feel like my eye would drift up here more should your camera be here, and I feel like it would flow a bit better. So I would consider swapping that and see if you like it. Um, I feel like our faces should be higher in these things. I don't know. That's totally a personal preference. How his screen is, you feel like it would be odd that he's looking up and towards off screen. Uh, I see what you're saying. It looks like he's sure aesthetically that's fine. Like I see what you're saying here, burnt toast, but and I agree. I think it would be weird if like he was facing the left side while being here, but like you're right in that it looks like he's looking at the game, but I think what's more important is like I would take him being on the top portion of the screen and looking like he's looking kind of like angled upwards. I'd still take that because my eye would want I feel like the chat should be below him here. Razor, leave up the pup cam. Saying the things this Razor's like, I'm all about the pup cam. That's all I want. I think it's fine. I think it'd be fine to try, but I would try it and see how it looks and how it feels. I think
Right, so I'm just doing
I
a bit of
think I think the need to
recalibration.
have the face higher in the layout is far more important than him looking like he's maybe staring at a higher angle than the gameplay. That's my thought. I would say that
Right, maybe that
we
would
should all try
work.
keeping our face cams higher. I think the lower corner is not as good these days. I don't know. Let's jump forward a little bit.
RobinKyrie here, and you're watching my stream.
Oh,
Maybe
is
you
this an
should watch it
AFK
too.
screen? So this is the same clips that we saw early on. So
But if you want to see what happens when
oh wait, no, it just jumped backwards. Why did it do that?
so hecking interesting.
Wait a minute. I jumped forward in the timeline and it restarted. Is that weird? That is weird. Okay. I don't know what I did earlier. It restarted it. Okay, this is good. So Have Fun agrees with Burnt Toast here about the little bits flying across the camera. I would say if it's too distracting, I would recommend slowing down the rate at which things move.
Stabilize, thank you.
Or are you talking? Oh, are you talking about this other stuff on the
I
frame?
don't know if this is
Is
the
that what you're
right
referring to?
way
Have
we're
fun?
doing this.
Like these little accents? I see what you're saying. I got
Could
it.
possibly be very, very wrong.
Let's look at that.
If it works, well, you know what we say about if it works.
You could clean it up a little. You could clean it up a little.
That's totally gone. Okay.
They do stand out quite a bit.
Oh no, I can just see it.
So like the pine cone and the leaves up here, and then we've got the pumpkin and the lantern and
looks
this
like we're
apple.
in Link's Gerudo clothing, and that is legitimately the
I'd
only reason
recommend
why.
maybe
I just
Robin
wanted Link to be looking
play with those.
sexy.
Maybe take a little bit out. Razor says there's just too much movement happening. Puppy, fox, face, words,
It's like
words
that
from
is
his
literally
chat.
the only reason why we have Link. We're here, and then I decided that I wanted to go and
Yeah,
go
I mean
and do the tower. So
it's slightly busy. What I would say, you could clean it up a little bit.
I mean,
would
it's
say
a
you
very
could
valid
clean up.
reason for me.
Maybe you don't need the accents. Maybe you don't need the accents as much. They're very nice. I believe this is it looks great as far as the actual like art itself goes, but like when you are taking it into account between the game, the camera, the chat, the
No one can say
doggo,
that
the
isn't a valid
captioning,
reason for
the
me.
fox, as Razor
Well,
pointed
I
out,
wanted Link to look
it
sexy,
certainly does
so
get busy.
things had to happen.
So one thing we could do with the overlay is consider cleaning it up a little bit and see if that helps. That helps in terms of like clearly, like cleaning it up a lot. The branch and the fox is what Have Fun's having trubs with. It looks like some
I
people
mean, it
decide to
is
do
sort of the reason why I do
chat in the overlay.
most things, if I'm honest.
That alone does cause more things to be visually
I think I've got
distracting
it
because you're
set up
seeing
right
it
now
tick
that I
up
should be able to
as
sort of
people are chatting.
precariously hop over these crates.
It covers his face at points. Yeah,
I didn't
you
say it
could
would be
either remove it
precarious,
or nudge
but
it to the right.
sometimes you have to live your life a little dangerously, okay? See, I am working out this particular challenge. If I can't take the easy route, I take the hard route of let's stack boxes.
I can't hear, like, is there game music at
It
all? I
appears to
don't
be
hear the game
working,
music.
so... Yes! The tower's now registering.
I hear the effects, just not any
I'm going
music.
to assume that means I may have took the right route, kinda. Yeah, I should be able to make that climb from here. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
Robin
on, Link.
prefers.
Up we get.
Thank you. Have fun for that. Robin does prefer they pronouns.
We are going to make
They,
all the
them.
progress.
Thank you for being mindful of that too.
I basically wanted to get up one tower, couldn't get up to it. So then I started to come to this tower, because I'm like, maybe this tower will be easier. It wasn't, but, as I say, look, Link's looking absolutely fabulous. I mean, just look at that little belly, and is that the start of a six-pack there, Link? I think that's the start of a little six-pack. Sorry. I mean, I'm not perving on Link. No, not at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
No, I don't know what you're
I would
talking
say Robin does a good job of at least talking over the stream or talking over the gameplay, which is pretty good. There's not a lot of dead air, which is nice. Especially when you looked at earlier in the stream, there was less chat happening. They were doing a good job. They were doing a good job,
Well,
like
I'm not at
talking
all perving on me.
while playing, even though there was no one in chat. And that's certainly a concern for a lot of streamers, right? It's like, am I talking enough?
No, I'm innocent. I tell you.
Robin's doing a good job here. Let's jump forward a little bit more.
And then I'm just stubborn. That's the best way of putting it. I am so stubborn that I almost don't know how to take no. If I believe something's worth my time to put in the effort to get there, then I don't say no. That's why, yes, right now, by numbers, it looks impossible, but I firmly believe that with the help of all you amazing people, together, this channel will be partnered by 2025.
There it is.
I need your help, but more than anything, I need you to keep me on track and keep me accountable. I don't want to try and do it just through playing video games. Not because video games are a bad thing, but because I firmly believe that there needs to be more than just video games in a partner.
I like your ideology there with how streamers.
I mean, I also kind of hope that you can go back to your normal job as well.
It's a lot of climbing I've noticed in this gameplay. A lot of climbing.
I don't know if this helps any, but I'm going to give it a go. Because if I can get up here before...
So I think what would help Robin is... It would be good to have a little bit more of the sound of the game. Just a little bit more. Not a whole lot. I think that...
Right, I want to see if that actually helps me any. Because I don't know if it will or not.
Or some kind... I really prefer there to be some kind of background noise.
Yeah, that...
I think from the game, a little more present.
I know that one of my friends has told me that they can generally...
I don't know, that's my thought. I'm trying to think if that's the appropriate call here. Engagement, though, seems pretty great. I know one of the things Robin called out in their forum here. Let me look at the forum was...
Oh, I was so close then.
Chat interaction is if there's anything they can improve upon. I would say, given the activity of chat, Robin's doing a pretty good job for interacting with anyone that's coming through.
Tower over there, by the way. This just turn it off at the power point.
Yeah, I'd just like to hear a little bit of the game. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
So I'm just sort of,
because I feel like there's something missing, right? Like here, let's listen. Although he's on, they're on a just chatting screen. So let me move to like where they're playing the game. Here.
Like that bird looks so hecking amazing that it's like, wow.
We're now in Genshin
I assume
Impact.
It's a bird. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool. There it did. So far, I'm really enjoying this game, though. Didn't quite want to climb that, but that's fine. I'm just sort of gonna hold everything until I know what it does. So you will find me just pick things up that I probably don't need, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just there's not a lot going on with the game sound.
I want to ride the dragon, okay? That dragon is gorgeous. How do I love how I was like, oh my gosh, it's a dragon! And we're like, oh my gosh, it's glorious.
Robin has no problem talking, so if I were to say one thing about at least the engagement factor, from what I can tell, Robin's trying to talk to chat when chat is saying something. Otherwise, the commentary and the narration is completely there. So I'm not, Robin, I'm not worried
Come on.
about any of
We
that
can
for
do
for
this.
you. You do a pretty good job of filling filling air, right? Like there's no dead air here.
Okay. I'm assuming
Normally it's
Paimon knows,
very
but
apparent on
also
some of
I am
these
still.
streams when there's a lot of dead air, right? I actually have not noticed any while scrubbing through this entire VOD so far. And I'm only, let's see, I'm 2 hours 42 minutes into a 3 hour 55-minute VOD. There's been no dead air jumping through this. So I would say that's actually not a concern. And then, wait, now there's dead air. Now there's dead air. Okay, there we go. What was that, 5-6 seconds maybe? I would say depending on the game and depending on the context of the situation, you know, when a streamer goes silent for maybe 5 seconds, that's probably just fine. That's pretty acceptable. It's those longer periods of time when you're looking at maybe 10 seconds of silence while you're doing gameplay.
Pew 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 pew. Pew 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 pew. I don't want to kill you.
This is a cool looking fight though.
Storm Terror. I want to ride you. I want this for a freaking mount because it is glorious. So, of course, the natural response is to kill it. Whether this is how I should be doing it, I don't quite know, but you know.
Yeah, streamers verbalize. Have Fun says, yes, please, streamers verbalize your thoughts when you're playing the game. Let chat know what you're thinking as you're making game choices. Yeah, that is probably the biggest advice that I can give any streamer anytime, right? Especially if they're newer. Especially if they're newer, it's how can you better verbalize your thoughts? And I think that's a skill that a lot of streamers need to get to get used to, because there will be a lot of moments where you're not able to really engage chat, right? There's no one chatting in some streams, right? And that is the time for a streamer to be narrating their thoughts or like giving commentary on the game or the gameplay, being able to speak to whatever's going on in their mind. That's the bare minimum, right? That's always the bare minimum. I would say more advanced, I would say, techniques when it comes to filling that air is being able to either tell a story, whether it's either relevant to the game or just relevant to your day or something, whether it's topical. I would say that is really something that a lot of streamers are struggling with, especially new ones. But Robin here seems to be, they're doing a great job, like with talking over the game.
For eternity, please.
Welcome to Mondstadt. Though you haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid.
Charlie, don't boop the camera.
I understand the anguish.
Fixing the doggo cam.
Charlie's doing camera boops. He thinks it's his food time already. How do we tell him that he's got another 40 minutes plus? He's gonna be very sulky, I'm afraid.
I'm not really sure why you're looking for the... But everyone has their secrets, right?
All right. Let's skip forward a little bit.
Boom!
Uh-oh.
Bye! Bye, Felicia.
You know, a lot of people are playing Genshin Impact right now.
I don't know how I feel about that growling. Like, that growling sounds kind of worrying.
I feel like there's a lot of people playing it.
There's still one of you left.
It's very popular on Twitch right now.
Bye, Felicia. Bye. Now, what sort of adventure would I be if I didn't have to look at everything? And destroy everything, for that matter. I mean, come on. I'm an adventurer, okay? I have to go and explore the entire area, including trying to climb things that I can't climb. No. I kind of wanted to climb that then. Okay.
It's so high. Seems like there's something up there.
All right, that looks pretty
So
good.
big,
Let's
eh?
How do we get across?
having your quote up. Oh yeah, I should move that up. Let me move. I'll move that featured chat up.
With a powerful pyro attack, we might trigger it.
That is a
Boom.
fair piece of feedback.
There we go. Told you. Knock them down, they die eventually. I kind of want Kaya on my party forever, though. I don't know if it's a possibility, but if it can be so, please, can the powers that be make it so? I don't even know if it's a thing, because someone actually told me if it's a thing that I could get Kaya on my party. Because, oh my gosh, he's cute. I appreciate his swordsman skills. He's cool as fuck, and yeah, I don't know. I just
Is that a
kinda like
carrot
him.
and
Give me a bear like
cabbage?
Kaya.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, talking over the gameplay is pretty consistently
Why
good
is it such a
for
surprise
Robin.
I've never seen a vision.
They're not really like
Rude.
No, I doubt it.
being too quiet. So I think
That was
think
rude as
Robin's
well.
engagement's pretty reasonable here with the
I'm
content
helping
and with
you.
chat.
You'd more or less qualify to be a magister's apprentice.
I would say if the concern is less about actually
gonna give that a
filling dead air,
compliment.
but more about trying to get chat more involved, which is always difficult depending on the size of your chat, right? If there's only one or two people actually actively chatting, it makes it difficult. However, you know, there are some tricks. There are some tricks, right? Like it's really about if the concern is less about am I talking over the game well enough? You're talking well over the game, Robin. You're doing a great job there. If the concern is, you know, chat's not like if there's not a lot going on between you and chat, that's always hard if there's not enough people chatting. However, the tricks, you know, there are some tricks with like asking questions to the chat more, whether it's like, oh hey, what do you think of this character design, or things like, are you any of you playing Genshin Impact, or if there are people in the community that you know, certainly bringing up different things that impacts the community, or they've talked about in the past, things of that nature, being able to kind of bring out those discussions and bring out that two-sided discussion that you want with your chatters. I would also say that, you know,
I get the feeling I'm gonna have to read a lot of
questions
books.
are really, really, really good,
I'm gonna have to start
right?
reading some of these
And
books.
it's really tough. I know I do this a lot. Like I'll ask questions to chat, and it's really tough if maybe chat's not that active, and you feel like you're not getting that engagement back. But the best thing you can do is kind of continue to try to do that, because it encourages that interaction, and it kind of preps your audience for what they're in for. You know, getting used to having you ask questions. Have fun says yes. They seem to do well with talking and being quiet at appropriate times. Yeah, I think Robin, you know, Robin has a really good sense for that. They talk over most of the parts that you know you want to hear someone talking, and then you know they stop talking when there's dialogue, which is perfect. I think that's completely reasonable, and that's what you would expect when playing games like this, especially in RPG like
Ooh.
games, or where there's a lot of dialogue. There's kind of a balance to be had against saying, okay, here I'm going to talk over the stream, and then oh, let's kind of hear what the game has to say. So they do a great job
I'm
here,
not gonna
Robin. You're
lie,
doing fantastic with that. I would say
do what I
if you're
enjoy out
looking
of
for
this
more
is
um
running.
if you're looking for more engagement, yeah, it's about asking those questions. It's about, you know, putting kind of a little bit more on chat to kind of verbalize their thoughts too, you know, asking those questions, whether it's relevant to the game or it's relevant to what the topic is at hand. If you're talking about um, your day, right? You're talking about what happened during your day. You can always turn that around and ask the chat, what was your day like? What were you up to today? What were you all doing? Because have fun says, because I type rather slowly, I always worry by the time I respond, chat has moved on. I get that. I totally get that. Have fun. I do. It's always difficult. You want to make sure that you're keeping up with the chatter, right? With what the streamer is saying and what other chatters are saying. You don't want to feel like you're missing out. I get that. I get that. I would say, uh, you know, from a streamer's point of view, it's always okay. It's always okay to add to the discussion. Um, you know, especially I mean, especially if you feel like you're typing a little more slowly, I think that's acceptable still. And the thing about streamers always, it's always challenging for us as streamers to especially if your chat's very active, follow the multiple threads that are occurring, because sometimes chat will have multiple discussions going on, right? Sometimes it's not just the one discussion. And even if it is, like you said, you're afraid the topic might have changed already, but there's multiple discussions going on in some chats where there's maybe two or three conversations happening, or one or two, but the topics are rapidly changing. um that is certainly something that more advanced, I would say, it's a more advanced streamer thing to have to deal with. um and really what that boils down to is addressing those chats, those messages, roughly in the order that you get them. That's what I do, especially when I find that there are multiple discussions happening in my chat. um Part of what is helpful, and I've been working on this as well, is reading out loud what the person is typing to set context for your response. And so, um, especially if you maybe lose the thread of what the topic is, uh, reading out loud what the chatter says uh, is very important. I don't think you necessarily need to do it all the time or with every message, but when you're at a point where you're like, would it help for me to read this out loud so chat can still follow what's going on? Then that is when you read out loud that message. And I tend to do it often. I do it as a way for me to help uh chat get context of my response, as well as to help me focus on the thing that I want to talk to at that time. Have fun says, when they do it well, it is amazing. Yeah, yeah, that's one of those things that a streamer has to practice, honestly. That one just comes with experience, I truly believe. um but certainly, Robin, you're doing a great job here. This
I
is
did
this is
enjoy that though.
fantastic.
That hurt. That piggy was rude. Oh my gosh, this game, I am actually really enjoying the game. I'm kind of sad that I didn't try it sooner. If I'd have known I'd have enjoyed it this much, I would have actually done it early. Probably got on the hype train a little bit earlier for it. Because it is, I just sort of was like, yeah, it's not going to get me.
Jesse Nebula
I'm
says,
not
I
gonna get
appreciate
excited
when
by this
streamers
sort
read
of game.
messages out loud, simply because I often have the stream on in the background while working. Yeah. So actually, that's a really good point, Jesse. I think that streamers often forget this, right? But I'll tell you now, I think streamers consume, when they do consume other streams, they do the same thing most of us do, right? Most of us will sometimes leave the stream up for the audio, and we end up listening more than we end up watching. I'm totally that way when it comes to how I consume Twitch, because I spend most of my day actually on the computer, with the ability to have Twitch up, but I'm usually working, right? So I'm looking at something else on my monitor. I have a whole nother window open. I'm working. So the best thing I can do is I can maybe join a chat or a channel rather and
I wasn't sure
listen.
what was gonna happen there, but I
And
think
maybe
it's
I'll
just
chime in if I hear
because
something
somebody was
that's
recording.
relevant or
I
something
am
I
one
have
of them people who likes to
an opinion
report
on.
the
But
things.
really, yeah, it's difficult because not everyone's
That is
watching.
pretty much
So
how
that means they
I
can't
run
read
these
chat, which
games.
means they don't have context for a response that you might have. Fun says it is one of the
Die to
things that audience doesn't
all the
necessarily
things.
understand the skill involved. It's like
I
juggling
don't see that as
so
a
many
negative
things
thing
at the
at all.
same time, to be honest. Most
Simply
streamers amazing.
it's
Yes, have fun. It's actually really, really true. It's really true. Rikai, thank you so much for the host. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Rikai. Lurking is life. Hi, all, by the way. Thanks, Rikai. ArcFox says he does it all the time. So ArcFox is referring to like the lurking and listening. It's really important. It's a skill I've personally been really trying to build, especially over the last several months, is being able to better talk over the stream in a way that is really conducive for y'all to consume it, right? Especially, being mindful of the people who are who are listening and can't really see what's going on. I've been really working on that and providing kind of that whole, let's talk over it. Let me read a question out loud or a comment, and then I respond appropriately. And I think it's really improved the stream for my viewers as well. Art Fox says, and I drop nuggets of stuff like trying to dunk on more and more. Yes, you do try to dunk on me. Oh, thanks, Art Fox. I appreciate you saying that I do a good job. You do dunk on me. That's funny. Guess who I saw? Guess who I saw yesterday, Art Fox? Adamuchi. Adamuchi, our mutual IRL friend. He was driving through the area and he dropped by. He was on a road trip. So we chatted for about 10 minutes. But anyway, this is good. This is overall, this is pretty good. Let's see how Robin closes out their
I'm gonna see
stream.
if
I'm gonna
anyone's
turn it
around
up a
in
little
the
bit.
Genshin Impact 14. What's the worst that can happen? You could win a game key. Likewise, if you want to keep schedule and authorize for it, as well as community sessions, feel free to 14. They're an amazing person. I love hanging out with their streams when I can.
Sorry, I'm trying to jump to
And
find
I fully actually no, we're gonna
the
raid
Stadia guy.
more and more.
Dude, the Stadia guy, man, I have words on that. We could talk about that later. It sounds like Robin's talking about me. I just heard my name. Hold on.
So there's a few things that I tend to look for in
The Stadia guy, Rikai. How
when I'm
dare you?
looking to raid. I hate to say it, but I'm not finding anyone, so I'm gonna have a look among my.
Really quick, guys. There is a guy who works for Google Stadia. Google Stadia. Creative director. Had a really hot take on Twitter yesterday about how streamers should be paying the game devs and publishers money so they could stream the games. Because they're just making all this, streamers are making all this money off video game content that they should be paying the developers and publishers. I got so worked up over that. Anyway, I can rant on that on my stream later. It was the one of the worst takes I could ever hear, and this is the freaking creative director at Google Stadia. What? Why would you say that? Streamers, they said streamers should be paying game devs and game publishers like a fee, a license to stream the games. Hope you're awake for that. Want to see my rant? Man, I could spend a stream on that.
My collection of people who are already
Let's get back to this review.
live. I think we're gonna go and say hello to Missy Socks. Actually, no, we're gonna raid more and more. No, we're raiding Mystics, the Mermaid Sticks. I know we've raided her in the past, but sorry, it took me a bit to find someone. It has to be someone I'm comfortable with raiding. That's my big thing. So that's why I always have this sort of pause and a lot of indecisiveness. So the Mermaid Sticks is currently playing Final Fantasy 14. They're an amazing person. I love hanging out with their streams when I can. And I fully recommend that you go check them out. So I'll next be streaming Sunday and we'll be playing more Genshin Impact on Sunday. So please feel free to join. And if you want to keep up to, because I sometimes do random streams off schedule and all that, as well as community sessions, feel free to join the Discord. You won't regret it. Right now, we have a Halloween celebration at the Hidden Shrine, and that includes chances to win game keys and all the rest of it just by taking part in some of the Halloween competitions. So if you're creative, if you like writing, hey, what's the worst that can happen? You could win a game key. Likewise, if you want to keep up with my social media, my main social media I update for schedules and that is Twitter. So do feel free to follow me on Twitter. But I would also recommend you take a gander at my website, because that has all my social media on it. But you've all been amazing. I love your faces. Keep being fabulous. And I hope to see you on Sunday with more Genshin Impact. But for now, see yas.
That was a great closing. Robin did a great job. They talked about, I'm looking for a raid. We're going to go raid this person, and then promoted the other ways to stay connected to their content, saying, here's my Discord, join my Discord, here's my Twitter, and then said, hey, I'll be live on this day with this game. So that is a perfect way to close out a stream. That's actually the thing. That is like the bullet point list that I almost always point to when I say, here's how you end a stream. You say, thanks for watching. I'll be live at this time next time playing this thing. Feel free to check out my Discord and or Twitter. Those are all perfect. That was perfect. Have fun says, have fun talking about Stadia guy. So he went from game devs actually paying streamers for sponsored content to streamers paying the game dev. Wow, yeah. Wow, shake my head. Dude, seriously. This was also, for your information, I know we're derailing a little bit. For your information, this is the same creative person. This is the same person who, was it years ago, there was a splash made because there was a comment that was said about how they had to cut, how they were so close to getting female, I think it was it Far Cry or was it Assassin's Creed? They said they couldn't have female animations in the game. It was too much extra work. Was it Far Cry? Yeah, this is the same person that said that. So this person, what this tells me is they're just full of bad takes. They're just full of, why are they in games? I don't even know. Yes, also they said Japanese games get too much slack for trash stories. Yes, this is the same person. Anyway, let's summarize. I'm so sorry, Robin. Robin, thank you so much for letting me review your channel. Overall, your design for your graphics is fantastic. I think overall the graphics look great. I would say your scenes overall are composed very, very well. There's some minor concerns about them, some of your scenes looking a little too busy. I would maybe play around and see if you could maybe simplify them slightly. I do have a thing you should try. Maybe flip the camera and chat in your game scene, but I don't know. Could be good, could be bad. Don't know. You do a very good job at what you're doing. I think if your concern is more about not having chat engage you, continue to continue to talk, continue to ask questions of chat, continue, I know this is always hard for streamers, especially when I give them this advice. Sometimes think of topics that you would like to talk about beforehand, even if it's in like the 5 minutes as you're starting your stream. And if it helps to even make a quick list of things that you think that would get your chat to engage you more in terms of like responding to any questions you might have, do it until you're comfortable doing that on the fly, right? I think I have like a certain set of go-tos that I always have, where it's like I ask about your day, I ask about the game if you're playing this game. So just things that prompt chat to perhaps respond. And I think if you continue to do that, you will start to see more engagement from the people in your chat room. Let me read some comments. Have Fun says, Robin, you do this streaming thing very well. Jesse Nebula says, yes, Robin, want a new follower here. So yeah, check out Robin. Their schedule is a little well, it's varied, it's in flux. I was gonna say is inconsistent, but that's just due to work schedule, which I've worked hours like that where it's just hard to really set a time to do such a thing. So perhaps give Robin a follow, perhaps turn on your notifications if you want to know when they're live. Follow them on Twitter and or join the Discord. Let me do one quick shout out again. RobinKyrie. Have Fun says, when you're given a choice in game, maybe ask chat if they made the same choice or what they think of your choice. Yeah, that's perfect. That's often, and actually, Have Fun, you made a really great point. That's often one of the things that I do, is I often ask the chat what either what they think of the choice, what choice would they make, or what they think of the choice that I had just made on my own. So that's a great suggestion, Have Fun. It's really about prompting those responses. If you want to consider to do other things more engaging, I saw that you had in your channel points. I'm trying to get to the thing here. So rewards and challenges. Let's look. There's a ask me, stop what do you see, highlight my message, I spy, posture check. So there's definitely some really cool things in the channel point. This helped actually drive engagement very well. The whole point system where viewers can earn points while they watch and then spend them. These are great. You have doodle time for 5,000. So all I would do, because you have some really great stuff in place, is remind people that there is point rewards that they could spend to have some really cool things go on in the channel. I would, if you don't already, I would have your bot remind people as well. And I think that's really great.